Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.
Step back, call game like Dame. Now they all know our name. Crossover, then go straight to the hezzy. I'ma dunk it like Denny. Small market, yeah, we making it big. Now we got too many cameras. Clinging on guards like Drew. You can't even move, ain't nobody stopping us. Rip City Turner, we making some noise. Pass to the present, we get it like Roy. More to be rockin', we bringing the force. Yang with it down, that's a bucket, of course. If straight about it, dunk, you gotta move. Young and still hustling like Scoop. Come and tap in, see what's new. Blazers Uprise on the crew.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Blazers Uprise post-game show presented by Sleeper. Today, the Portland Trail Blazers get another win versus the Memphis Grizzlies, although this one was a little bit more stressful, as they pull away late to a 122-115 win, a shorthanded win for the Blazers. Jeremy Grant leads the way with 29 points in this one, including a couple late threes to help the Blazers pull away. And the Blazers, for the third time this season, have beat the same team twice in a row. But much like it was against the Kings, the second game, stressful, maybe a little bit more stressful than it should have been. The Blazers were down at one point, double digits in the second half, but they were able to claw their way back. Today, we'll talk about this game, and we also have our first mock draft for you guys. Hopefully you're having a good weekend. Eric, what's going on, man? How's your weekend treating you?
Oh, pretty good, especially when the Blazers went back-to-back games. I don't care who it's against. We needed these two games, and now we're right back on the right trajectory. Got 3 games left till the All-Star break. Now we got a game against Philly on Monday. That'll be a pretty big game, and then a back-to-back on Wednesday, Thursday. So, hopefully we get most of our guys back by Monday. I'm assuming all these same players won't play in the back-to-back on Wednesday, Thursday. So hopefully they stagger them a little bit so we have some healthy guys for both games. But it's looking up. And then we got, over a week to hopefully get guys healthy and make a stretch run here with actually getting to see what this roster can do. You're muted.
The Blazers on the night, 48% from 3, 41%, or 48% from the field, 41% from 3. The Grizzlies shoot even better, 50% from the field, 42% from 3. This was not a particularly good defensive game for the Blazers, although it was a good defensive rebounding game. So at least there was something to write home about defensively. They give up 115 on back-to-back nights against the Memphis Grizzlies. This was a Memphis Grizzlies team that looks like they're ready to start tanking. Ty Jerome doesn't finish the game, even though he was their best player on the floor tonight. He's looked good since coming back from an injury that kept him out the start of the season. Of course, he was a really important player for the Cleveland Cavaliers last year. This was a solid offensive game. I don't know. I don't really know how to break this one down because I'm not particularly pleased with the defense in this game. I thought the energy was dead until the fourth quarter, and then it was like, okay, we can't lose to this team. We're much better than this team, even with the guys we're missing. Let's I don't know, put the pedal to the metal, so to say. It was. I was worried about this being a trap game going into this. I was worried about the Blazers taking this team a little bit lightly, given that they beat them last night, and they were up by 30 at one point last night. And that was kind of the feeling of this game, man. It was pretty dead effort-wise. Some defensive lapses, defensive breakdowns. Omax Prosper was cooking the Blazers in the first half. I mean, you should not be saying that Omax Prosper was cooking you in the first half, but that's kind of the reality of this game for the Blazers. Happy that they were able to get the win, but still a lot that needs to get cleaned up. The Grizzlies had a lot of success against the Blazers' drop scheme, but the Blazers run that more than any team in the league. We've talked about how teams are able to pick that apart. The Grizzlies were able to have some success against that tonight. But you got to give credit to the Blazers for controlling the defensive glass. The Blazers, I used to look at offensive rebounds, turnovers, and fouls, and the Blazers trying to win those 3 categories. They did a great job on the boards. Turnovers, 17, still a little too high. And then fouls, 21 fouls. The Grizzlies shoot 7 more free throws. And that's why they were able to build that lead. But then the Blazers make some shots late and finally start playing some defense in that fourth quarter, and were able to pull away.
Yeah, I was thinking about this because I kept seeing people say, oh, we just have so many guys out. But then I look on the court and we have Drew Holiday, we have Jeremy Grant, Donovan Klingan, Tamani Kamara. That's 4 of our top 6 players. The Grizzlies don't have like hardly anyone that's in their normal rotation. And I think they might have won tonight if they did. I'm not sure why Wells and who else? I forget who else didn't sit tonight that played. Cam Spencer. I'm not sure why they didn't. Well, I am sure why they're obviously tanking, but we'll probably get cooked tonight if those guys played. But we still had competent players in this game that have contributed all year. So there would have been no excuse for losing this game, even down so many. And we're lucky we got hot in the fourth quarter, actually turned up the defense, or Memphis started missing shots. I'm not sure which is more accurate to say, maybe a little of both. But it's just, it is frustrating watching a team of, we know who they are, but it's basically a team of nobodies just getting wide open 3 after wide open 3 and shooting like over 50% for most of the game from 3, and then just not adjusting at all, really, just hoping that these guys will remember who they are and start shooting worse. So that was a little frustrating to me. Like I mentioned, the 4 main guys we had in this game, and you throw City in there as well. We had defensive players. It's not like all our defensive guys were out of this game. If anything, we had one of our better defensive lineups, including Blake Wesley and stuff. So there's no excuse for how many points they gave up. But at the end of the game, a win is a win. Jeremy had some big moments there. Well, actually, he was big the whole game, but had those 2 threes you mentioned. And I thought Klingan was great the whole game as well. And those 2 guys really helped us tonight. And Caleb Love was brutal for most of this game. And then that no fear, cocky shot attitude that he has actually came in working well for us as he hits a couple in the fourth quarter. I don't know.
I will say a couple of shots he hit in the fourth quarter. At least his second made 3 of the game, where he was 1 for 7, then shoots a contested 3 in transition, a few feet behind the line. I hated that shot, even though it went in. That was one of those shots, like, dude, like, okay, you happen to make it, but you're 1 for 7 from 3. I thought his shot selection was a bit brutal in this game. I'll get to it, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, this goes back to a bigger conversation with him, which I guess we'll get into later. But it's just, the Blazers made the plays when they had to in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Memphis seemed to not want to win this game. So it would have been a bad loss, in my opinion, even if it would have been a trap game, like you mentioned. But, just happy they got it together, because it was getting a little frustrating when we were down 11 and seemingly had no answer for how we're going to try to stop Memphis from beating us tonight.
Yeah. This game should not have been this much of a struggle for the Blazers. They shouldn't have been in a position where it was going to take a great effort to just outright win this game, and they got that, right? So relieved that they were able to get this win, but the name of the season has been the defense consistently underachieves in terms of its personnel. And that was once again the case tonight. They're 19th in defensive rating. I think it's like right around that in adjusted defensive rating. This team is barely not a bottom 10 defense, and we were hoping that it could be challenging for a top 5 defense in the league, given the personnel going into the season on paper. They're not even close to top 10. This defense just has underachieved a bit too much this year, and they run more drop than any team in the league. And when you're that predictable with running drop scheme, it's almost impossible to be a good defense, in my opinion. Some defenses have been able to make it work, but the Blazers just get picked apart running drop scheme, and there's just we saw it with Phoenix with Colin Gillespie and Grayson Allen going 14 for 25 from three. Not pretty, So you get away with it, but still just a little bit disappointed with the defense so far this season, the defense in this game. So there's kind of two different conversations here. One is, you got to win basketball games. This would have been a bad loss. Thank goodness it wasn't a loss. It was a win. All right. Which obviously it's good to put a win in the win column on back-to-back nights. But the other conversation is, man, the defense continues to not play up to the level that it should be. And is it ever going to get fixed? Are they ever going to adjust? But I will say this is why we talk about having a different type of center behind Donovan Klingan that you don't have to play drop with, because of the way teams can start picking apart drop. Going into the game, you know what looks you're going to get off the screen. You know what space you're going to have coming off of screens, whether it's running off screens as a shooter or running pick and roll. It's predictable for offenses to go against it. So it's nice to have a change up off the bench to mix up coverages if you always want to run drop with Donovan. But I also don't think they should be running this much drop even with Klingan in the game. I think they should mix it up a little bit. Klingan's a smart defender, and you're only playing him drop. Yeah, he's not the most mobile guy, but he doesn't have to close all the way out on the three-point line with his length. We've seen him block three-point shots where he's multiple feet away from a shooter, but he's just so freaking lengthy. Right. Yeah, so just tired of how predictably conservative the half-court defense is, especially for a team that kind of prides itself on the idea of we're going to pressure guys, we're going to make things uncomfortable for the other team. That was a buzzword in preseason. Unfortunately, teams have been a little too comfortable playing against the Blazers' drop, and I think that's the main sort of culprit for the Blazers maybe not being as good as they should be. I also think the effort at times isn't quite what it should be, especially in tonight's game. I know a lot of people think this is a high-effort team. I think they're average at best effort-wise this season. I think I've seen a lot of lulls in terms of the effort defensively. I don't think it's quite what it was last year, and I don't think it's quite what it should be. And then also you got a lot of guys that are good defensive players that haven't played the smartest defense this year. Drew at times is letting his player beat him off the dribble to try and poke him from behind. Tamani, we've talked about some of his mental lapses so far this season. So I think it's a combination of all those things as to why this team is underachieving a little bit defensively. And I feel like you saw all three of those things tonight. And then late, they kind of put the clamps down a little bit, and the Grizzlies didn't look like they were trying to win, and they're able to get some stops that they need to win the game. So great that they won it, but also look at your opponent on the other side of the floor. You're better than them, right? They had 30 points each of the first three quarters. They had 30 in the first, 33 in the second, 33 in the third. They should not have had 96 points going into the fourth quarter. So you win the fourth quarter by 15 and you win this game by 7, great. But the defense at some point, if you want to be more competitive, has to get better. I feel like people are just waiting for this team to be consistently healthy and have Denny all the time and have Scoot all the time and, we can be a pretty dang good team. But that doesn't fix the defensive woes that we've seen, and it's going to be tough to consistently beat average to good teams with the defense being what it is. At the start of the year, the Blazers got some luck with teams missing three-point shots, some of which were nights where teams got great three-point looks and they missed them, and the Blazers go on a run there. But just that's my worry, is the defense and figuring that out, because that's what they should be best at, and it's been a struggle.
Well, this game was 6-6 after 4 minutes in, and once again, the Blazers offense could not do anything. And you would think, 6 points given up as well. At least they're playing good defense. But it was, if you paid attention to the beginning of this game, everyone just seemed like they were playing in quicksand or something. It was so slow, and just everyone seemed disinterested in playing in this game. And I feel like last year when they went on that run defensively, where they had one of the best defenses for a couple month period, I feel like they just came out and were just on top of people from the jump ball, and were just all in players' faces, and just had I don't know if they necessarily ever got to a point where it was truly making another team uncomfortable. They'll tell you they finally realized their identity and stuff. Remember all that bull crap about we figured it out now and now it's just improving on it, and that never that hasn't transpired this season. But I felt like they just I don't know if they're just like playing down. There was like no juice at the beginning of this game.
Well, that's been the pattern. That's the thing is like this was a trap game, so I was worried about in that regard. But it's not like this is the only time they come out with absolutely zero energy at the start of games. Yeah. They did it last game too. They were down 15 at one point last game, and then they showed just how much better they were than that patchwork roster the Grizzlies were throwing out there with multiple guys that it was their first game there. Multiple guys just got traded there. So yeah, it's a constant theme, this team coming out completely flat to start games, and that's not getting any better either.
Yeah, see, the good defensive teams don't need, like, it to be a big game or don't need, like, the crowd energy. That stuff helps, of course. Like, everyone's human, so it's only natural to, like, be like, oh, man, we're playing a Grizzlies team with like no one playing tonight. This should be an easy game. But like the really good defensive teams, and even the ones who are trying to become a defensive team and who have underachieved, you're not going to get to where you want to get to if you come out and match their lack of energy or the crowd's lack of buzz or whatever. That's a recipe for getting into a muddy game like this one. And short of, a big fourth quarter, maybe losing a game you had no business losing. So to me, it's got to start with a mindset that, like, no matter who you're playing, I'm going to go out and shut these fools down. And I just haven't seen that. I did see it towards the end of last year where they were like, it didn't matter who they were playing. They were coming out with an edge and they were going to shut down the opposing team and win with their defense. And this year it just seems a lot more like going through the motions. And I do think that the drop scheme leads to a lot of that. I know they did it a lot last year too, but it really seems like it leads to them being so lackadaisical on defense. And it, I don't know. I wish they would just come out and just run some sort of trap or some sort of like pressure defense, like off for like the first couple possessions just to get the juices flowing or something and see if you can spark maybe a turnover or something off the bat. It shouldn't be like the entire game like they were trying to do at the beginning of the season, but I don't mind that for like a couple possessions at the beginning of a game to get the juices flowing.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think I don't even necessarily want them to do anything too crazy on their screen coverages. They don't have to play Klingan above the level of the screen. Just show them high enough to make the ball handler think about not shooting a shot. Or play them high enough where it's not like, okay, I got a defender on my back, but I got 10 feet of space in front of me to kind of dribble into, take my time, get the big man to commit, set up the roll man, 10 feet that I can keep the defender on my back, dribble into, and read the entire floor. Just show Klingan high enough to make that defender have to read Klingan. Because when Klingan's dropped, that defender's not reading him. That defender is able to scan the entire floor. And the first read coming off that screen for a shooter is like, okay, is my defender still on my back? If not, I'm wide open. And it's practice shots. If he's still on my back, forcing me downhill, okay, I got all this space. I can see the roll man. In the first read is that opposite weak side help guy. Is he properly tagging the roll man? If not, I'm just going to dribble downhill to Klingan, get him to commit to me, and throw a lob over the top, right? And if the baseline guy's tagging the roll man, then you're reading maybe the guy guarding weak side free throw line extended. Is he dropping? Like if I have two shooters over there, is one of them open? Right? These are all the reads. There's never really a situation when the Blazers are playing super deep drop where you're reading the big man or thinking about what the big man's doing. Now, like, once you get to the big man, if guys like misread stuff all the time, and sometimes the Blazers are able to play it properly, and the ball handler gets downhill at Klingan, and then he's deterred or forces a shot that Klingan does a good job contesting, and Klingan forces a miss, right? But you're able to kind of, if you're a good guard, you can read everything else first. Whereas if Klingan's playing a little bit closer to the level of the screen, you're coming off that screen, and Klingan's close enough to make you think about shooting that shot. That's the first guy you're reading, right? And you're not just kind of going downhill into space. So I would like for them to play Klingan higher, especially when drop is getting picked apart. And it doesn't have to be all the time, but at least in games where teams have kind of figured out drop scheme, show them higher. And make them make a different read coming off of that screen. And see if you can get better contests on some of these threes. If they start picking that apart, okay, cool. But it's just kind of insane to me that they're almost a bottom 10 defense with above average defensive personnel. And they just keep doing the same stuff every game. It doesn't really make sense to me. So you got to try and find a way to improve the defense. And I think just kind of playing Klingan super far back off of screens, and guys are getting picked off screens with no help. It kind of kills the energy of this team at times. Because if you're Klingan, you're just waiting for the guy to come at you. If you're the guy getting screened off, like, you're dying on screens, there's no help. Like, I just don't like it. I wish they would experiment a little bit more with some of the stuff they're running defensively, especially in a game like this where you should not be giving up 96 points in 3 quarters. Like, you give up 30 in the first and 33 in the second. It should have been halftime. They have 63 points. Okay, we're going to mix up the defensive coverage. Like, we should be able to guard this team, and obviously what we're doing is not working. But they didn't switch it up, and they had 33 again in the third. So, yeah, you finally were able to get some stops, force some misses in the fourth quarter. They were shooting a really hot 3-ball. But there's been a lot of teams recently that have shot a good 3-point ball against the Blazers. I think what the Blazers are doing defensively has a part in that. So, moving forward, I think they need to start showing Klingan a little bit higher and experimenting a little bit more defensively. And I don't mean experiment by running a 3-2 zone or a 1-1-2-1 zone or whatever sort of zone combinations they could come up with.
Yeah, but that's why I kind of see if you blitz that screen like the first play, then they're going to be like, oh, wait, is he going to blitz again the next time, And then you can run what you're doing. It doesn't even have to work. It just throws them off to where they're not like, okay, Klingan's just going to drop 10 feet every time. And so, yeah, then I do agree that they need to adjust it a little higher. But I don't know. It's weird that they haven't made that adjustment at all season. I will also say, so I don't know if you ever noticed this or if anyone in chat has ever noticed this, but there are multiple times in every game I've seen lately where a player goes out of the game and Nate Bjorkgren tries to talk to him on his way, and the guy just like walks right by him. Like, I'm not saying like it's an issue or whatever, or maybe he's just saying something quick to him, but it looks like Nate's trying to like explain something more in depth and the player just wants to go to the bench. I don't know if they really care for him too much. We know that's been a problem at other stops he's been at. I'm not trying to like start any rumors, but like it's just something that I've been picking up on lately where he always seems to come out and try to talk to someone and they just walk right by him. Like it's kind of funny, but at some point the dude needs to make an adjustment on his defense.
Yeah. Absolutely. Shout out to Suns fan 21, $2 donation says, must be nice to be a good team. Congrats on the win. He's saying that because the Suns lost today. Thank you. The Suns are also a good team.
I mean, they're better than us.
Yeah.
And you guys are missing some players too. But yeah, I mean, we beat the Grizzlies. You would have beat the Grizzlies lineup today too if you're.
Probably would have had an easier time beating this Grizzlies lineup.
Yeah.
So, okay, any comments in chat that intrigue you? I want to start trying to read a little bit more from chat.
Oh, yeah. Wes says we're only allowed one scheme on offense and defense per game. Adjustments not allowed. So,
yeah,
it sucks.
They do play like that. They do coach like that. It drives me insane. But that's kind of always been the case. I mean, Chauncey experimented a lot early in his tenure with mixing up coverages, but they didn't really run any of them particularly well, but they were starting the rebuild. Shout out to Muvsy with a $3 Canadian donation. It is a thumbs up sticker. Appreciate the sticker, Muvs.
So I saw this, I don't know if it was Tristan asking this earlier, but I've seen it a couple of times in chat, if Thiago has the ability to replace coaches on his staff, and I would say no, he does not at this point. Maybe after the season if he's kept, but I seriously doubt they would allow him to make any moves unless there was like an issue with a coach personally or something. But I don't see any way they would let him switch out Bjorkgren at this point, even if he wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, who are you going to switch him out for in the middle of the season? It's not like you're hiring a coach from somewhere else. So
Thibodeau.
Yeah, Thibodeau going to come here to be an assistant.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I know. Like, I'm assuming it's the same in the NBA, but like, there's no like salary cap for coaches or whatever. Like, bring in a consultant or something. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I don't even think it's that they don't need a consultant, because I guarantee you, Thiago, Nate Bjorkgren, the coaches on the staff, know how showing closer to the level of the screen is supposed to work. They know how icing screens work. They know how different pick and roll coverages work. It's the decision to do something else that they are not making that is driving me crazy. So it's like they bring in a consultant to tell them, oh, you guys should do this. Like, it's their own decision making as a coaching staff. I guarantee you they know how all this stuff works and they know how to coach the fundamental basics of this. It's just deciding not to just only run drop scheme. And that's also why it's kind of frustrating to me is it's an active decision to run what they are running. So here's the thing, like, if the defense was bottom 5, they probably would have switched it up. The defense is just good enough for them to keep doing what they're doing, but it's also worse than what it should be. So that's the result. Anyway,
like I said earlier, though, it bugs the crap out of me that they pump that up all offseason. How we're good on defense now, like we figured it out, and they got like Phillips got an extension based off that theory as well. But it drives me crazy that and this is what we've been talking about for years. You can't just run the same freaking defense all the time. You can't, like, just because it worked last year doesn't mean you don't have to tweak it and make adjustments to it. And like, teams aren't going to figure it out or scout it and then figure out ways to attack it. You have to have some sort of counter when teams are going off, even if it's a scrub team like we played tonight. When teams are just hitting threes at will, adjust the freaking defense, run something else, man. It just drives me crazy.
Yep. Okay, let's get into the stats here. So for the Grizzlies, just take a look at that. Their top 2 scorers are off the bench: Omax Prosper and Javon Small, the second-round rookie out of West Virginia. 25 and 22 apiece for both of them.
Yeah, Small's been I was impressed by him last night too. Just the way he played. Yeah, good game.
I think he'll stick around as a backup point guard and be one of those guys like years from now, like, oh, he's a second-round pick, but he's stuck.
He's like tough. Like he's strong, and I don't know. He just kind of one of those like backup pester guards,
Yeah. And then Omax Prosper, who was the pick after Chris Murray.
Yeah,
this is his third team. He hasn't stuck, but this is better. This was a better game than Chris Murray has ever had. And Chris Murray has played for tanking teams. So
I don't feel like he played well last night, but obviously when you hit your first 6 threes tonight, and how many threes did he end up hitting?
Did he? How many threes did he hit?
He was 7 of 8. Yeah, he was 6 for 6 at one point in this game.
Yeah.
And he's not
Was
even.
Was it really 6?
Yeah, he has 6 in a row in this game. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen his shot, dude. Like his free throw, the way he releases the ball. I don't know how he could make 6 threes in a row. Like,
yeah,
due to pure physics. Like, the way the ball comes out of his hand is weird, and somehow it goes in. So, yeah. I mean, how do you get cooked by him? I don't know. But they did. They did. Like, it's just letting scrubs go off. That's the Blazer way. So shout out to those guys for showing up and making a case. But what'd you think of Grant tonight? 29 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 10 for 17 from the field, 6 for 10 from 3. Has been better the past couple of games after struggling since coming back from injury. He looks kind of like himself again, which is good news.
Yeah, I mean, he was for a while the only one freaking doing anything in this game where it looked like he wanted to win, at least with our starters. And yeah, it was good to see him come out. And I think I only remember one mid-range shot that like rimmed in and out. Other than that, it was all threes and trying to get to the basket again. And I like that, Jeremy Grant. Sometimes there was a couple plays, I think they were in the third quarter maybe, or maybe it was early fourth, but he had a couple drives where he lost the ball or whatever. I don't know if like we talked about last game, if those got counted as blocks or turnovers or not. But man, yeah, his shooting was good tonight, and we really needed him to step up, and he did.
Yeah, I looked at the back-to-back plays that I was talking about from yesterday, and the blocks. They were both blocks where he got stripped before he even started going upwards with the ball. So yeah, that drives me crazy. But just in terms of counting that as a block instead of a steal and a turnover. But yeah, good game from him. Really, really solid game. 5 rebounds too. That's a career high, right? No, just kidding. But 5 rebounds from Jeremy. That's kind of like that's the benchmark. You know, that's for him. That's a good rebounding game if he can get 5 boards. So.
Yeah, I mean, contributed.
Drew Holiday, 27 minutes, 21 points, 8 for 13 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, 4 assists, 3 turnovers. Back-to-back, really, really good games from Drew. Something that drives me insane, man. Like, I don't know if our chat's like this or our viewers feel this way, but on my Twitter timeline, I see so much Drew Holiday slander. The past 2 nights, I've seen a ton of people just bemoaning Drew Holiday while he's played good games in back-to-back nights. And I some people don't like how the ball sticks to him, and I agree. But also, if the ball's sticking to him, but he's doing good things with it, like, fine. If there's good results from it, fine. Especially on a short-handed team right now, where he has to make more plays and do more things. Sometimes I just feel like people care about what's aesthetically pleasing, and Drew maybe isn't the most aesthetically pleasing player offensively with some of the stuff he does. Kind of methodical, crafty. I appreciate it, but I guess some people might not find that visually pleasing, whereas everything Shane Sharp does is visually pleasing. I don't know. That's a different conversation for another day, but I just don't really understand what people are so frustrated about with Drew. Like, yeah, he struggled for a couple games coming back from injury, but past 2 nights he's been very, very good, and I don't really understand the issue that people have with him these past couple of nights, because he was a huge part of these wins.
I think early in this game, I think all 3 of his turnovers were I think they all might have been in the first quarter, but yeah, just kind of careless with the ball. At least 2 of them were in the first quarter. But I think it's just it just really stands out the pace at which he plays. It's I can see how people get annoyed at how much of a snail pace he plays at sometimes. And it's just such a drastic difference in the way this team was talking about wanting to play and stuff. So I think it's more just that it just seems so off. Like he is dribbling the ball a lot, and it's not the same as like Scoot or Anthony or whatever last year when they dribbled the ball a lot. Like they I don't know. It's like a slow, methodical way, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not criticizing him at all. So don't take it that way. But like I'm just saying, I think that's why people like look at him different, is because he's like walking the ball up, and he gets to his spots, but it's like so slow, and then he throws the ball away a couple times after dribbling 10 times and getting to that spot, and it's like, dude, come on. But like, so I see where people are coming from, but he's actually been really good these last couple games, and it's good to see him back.
So people just want players that play fast.
It's not necessarily fast. It's just like when you play super slow and then are careless with the ball at the end of it, it's like, okay, well, like, why are you playing slow?
These are the same people that love Shane Sharp. So it's like, it can't be that he's careless with the ball.
Why does Sharp always have to come into the conversation?
It just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me because, like, it just doesn't make sense to me because a lot of these people are Sharp fans, don't have an issue with him being careless with the ball, but then with Drew, it's like because he plays slow and then has some turnovers, but he'll have games where he has 3 turnovers and 7 assists, and people are frustrated with him being careless and him playing slow. It's like, that's productive.
Talking about Holiday, you took a shot at Sharp, so like maybe these people are just. Maybe that's all it is.
I'm just saying I don't understand. I'm just saying I don't understand. So like, because I don't think it's the carelessness, because he has a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. So I don't understand people being frustrated with his carelessness is what I'm trying to say by that.
I wonder what it is since we came back from injury though. As well.
I'll check it. I am curious
about that. A lot of
that.
people liked him earlier in the season. I don't think anyone was really complaining about him before he got hurt. Were they? I think it's more just the way he came back.
Yeah, but I mean,
and this is what it is, Tori.
He averaged in January. He averaged 4.6 assists per game and 1.9 turnovers.
Okay.
This month he's averaging 6 assists per game and 3 turnovers.
I can tell you, I figured it out, Tori. I know exactly what it is. Okay. 4 months while he was out, we heard that the problems on this team were the lack of ball handling, and when we got Drew Holiday back, it would be better again. And then we got him back, and we had like back-to-back 20 turnover games or whatever, and it wasn't better. And so that just makes all of their analysis that we disagreed with for the whole time, right? Like, it shouldn't be that bad just because Drew Holiday's out. But he's not really like a traditional point guard type, even though he can play as a traditional point guard. But I think it's just that those people now had to turn on him because he wasn't the answer that they've been saying was the only reason we had a problem for months, right? And so now they have to think, now it's obviously Drew's playing like crap, or he's the problem because he didn't come back and magically fix something that they said he would come back and fix.
Yeah. I mean, I think that could be some of it. But I mean, yeah, he's averaging a greater than 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio since coming back. So like, yeah, when you're making a lot of plays for other players, you're gonna have some turnovers, and okay, yeah, it's slow and methodical, but this team does end up playing slow in the half court. Like, even when Sharp gets the ball, he'll take some dribbles. You know what I mean? Like, even when Grant gets the ball, he'll take some dribbles. Even when Denny gets the ball, he'll take some dribbles, which I'm completely cool with because he's very, very effective. Like, at the end of the day, the offense overall has a problem in the half court at times with the ball sticking too much to multiple players. But can you be effective with what you're creating? And Drew, to his credit, he's been effective with what he's creating. He had a couple awful games at the end of January where he was really brutal and he was very frustrating to watch. But outside of that, he's on a minutes restriction coming back in early January, and this was the second most minutes he's played in the game since coming back from that injury, and he's been very, very solid. So I don't think like him on the floor has to take away from the pace. You got multiple guys that can push the ball in transition. I think you need somebody to kind of create stuff in the half court, especially in a game like this where you don't have Denny, you don't have Drew. Or not Drew. You don't have Denny, you don't have Scoot. You don't have Sharp. You need somebody to create, and Drew did a great job. 4 assists, 21 points, 8 for 13, 4 for 6 from 3, knocked down threes, which was good to see because he had been kind of struggling from behind the three-point line. I feel like he gets a little too much hate for how he plays, and I do get the part where it's like, you know, we have young guards on our team. You want to see them get every opportunity, and you can feel like Drew maybe is in the way a little bit, but for where this team is trying to go, Drew plays a part in that. You know, they're trying to win. They're trying to make a play, and they're trying to make a playoffs. And you got to win games like these. And without Drew showing up like he did today, the Blazers might have lost this game. So, very, very good performance from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I have nothing left to say. What'd you think of DC today? 20 points, 19 boards against the team with no center.
Yeah, this is the type of effort we needed out of him. I even though he hit a couple, I did not want him shooting threes. I wanted him inside like the whole game. And you know, he had his moments where he got a bunch of offensive rebounds, some putbacks. He had one where he let the defense clear out after he got a rebound and then spun back in and dunked it. Loved that. He had another one where he caught the ball high off a rebound and kept it high, put it back in. That's the kind of DC we were seeing in December when he was just rolling. And man, yeah, I thought he really played well tonight and on both ends. And I mean, people are going to look at it once again and say, "Oh well, he was supposed to guard Max Prosper, and he hit 6 straight threes. How could you say he had a good defensive team?" Well, I mean, if you listen to us, we explain all the time why that's not his fault necessarily. But man, it really does seem like these last couple games, he's back to being himself again. It just, I don't know what was up with him, but he was not playing the way he had been playing, and just seems a lot more into the game. Got into it a little bit. Did he get a technical? I think he got a technical tonight. I don't really mind that. I mean, if we would have lost a close game, maybe that you can go back to that, but at least I like seeing him with an edge to him, and I felt like the last couple games he's gone back to that.
Yeah, he has looked better. I wonder what the deal was with his hand that he keeps holding. Noticed that last night.
Well, it got jammed in the beginning of this game, and then Wesley threw that pass. It was trying to hit Vita on the side, but yeah, Klingan was standing between him and hit him right in the thumb. Man, that was brutal. That was tough. Yeah,
brutal. Tamani, 8.7 rebounds, 34 minutes. He shot 3 for 10 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. Didn't have a turnover, though. Only had 2 fouls in 34 minutes.
I think he drew 3 offensive fouls.
Yeah, drew 3 offensive fouls. Like, okay game. You know, he missed some shots tonight, but that's going to happen. You know, I don't like seeing him miss shots and also turn over the ball, or miss shots and also deal with foul trouble. That changes the way he plays defense. Like, so this was a fine game. Nothing too noteworthy. He was a plus 18, though. And
man,
go ahead.
Did you curse? Did you put your little jinx on Kamara now too?
With what?
Was it just last post-game show you were commenting about how good his drives have looked lately? And tonight they looked horrible. He had 2 like really bad ones in this game where he wasn't even close.
I don't know. I probably jinxed him. Let me look at Basketball Reference and see his shooting from the corner. All right, his shooting 3-point percentage from the corner, 28.7%. Last year it was 36%. Like, it was about what his percentage was, so he wasn't worse from the corner last year, but this year that continues to be a theme. Missed some corner threes last game. It's almost, dude, like, you know how I said about his shot, like, he's not a mid-range shooter because of his form? Like, from 3, he can kind of like extend all the way and get good touch on it. I almost wonder if the corner 3 is a little too short for him. Because he seems to struggle with his touch on corner 3s right now more than he does outside of the corner.
I know it's not the same, but I like shooting NBA 3s better than college 3s. There's just something about it that like
there's times when I play I don't feel right shooting from high school or college 3-point line, but I'll take a deep 3 and it feels normal because like I feel like I can extend all the way.
Exactly.
Like the flow is better. So I'm sure that's a thing for many players. And Tamani might be one of them. And then City Sissoko, 7 points, but 10 boards, 4 assists. Kind of filled up the stat sheet in his start today. 3 for 10 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. Literally the same exact thing as Tamani. He just didn't get a free throw like Tamani did. So what'd you think of his game?
Yeah, he was fine. I almost want him to stop shooting 3s altogether. I know he hits one every once in a while, but dude, his form looks like it's getting worse, and it looks like he's now shooting like a side catapult thing, and it has like there's times when he loads up to shoot, and you just know there's no chance it's going in. It doesn't even get high enough to get above the rim, and it just like clanks off the front of the rim, and so I don't mind him other than that, but it's just so deflating when someone makes a nice drive and kick out, and it's great, it's Sissoko. That's the only bad thing from tonight that I noticed. Other than that, solid game from him.
Yep. I don't like him playing more minutes than Krejci. Krejci should be ahead of him in the rotation.
Dude, yeah.
We'll talk about Krejci in a second. Side note, did you see my guy tonight? One of my favorite draft prospects from this past draft, who has struggled all year and finally had a great game. I love to see it, man. They always come around. My gems always come around,
Was it this game or a different game?
Different game tonight. Shout out to Chat. Chat got it quick. Shout out to Chat. Yeah, Nick Clifford dropped 30 against the Cavs. Love to see it.
I mean, he was like the only player. I think it was him versus the whole Cavs team tonight. So.
Well, they had Russell Westbrook.
Oh, that's true.
They had Daquan Plowden drop 16.
Dude, there were some insane injury reports today, man.
Yeah. You're starting to get into the time of season where you just have random players like starting, like Daquan Plowden.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing too. Like, so, I mean, I know, like, technically, in the Wemby draft, there was Scoot too that people were tanking for. But and like last year there was Flag, but people were tanking for Dylan Harper as well. But. Yeah. Dude, when there's 3 like players that could all be number 1, and then we'll get this later, but like there's some guys there at 4 and 5 that could potentially be difference makers as well. That makes it so if you tank right, like if you're the worst team, which a lot of teams have the possibility of being right now, then you at worst are 5 in the lottery. So that's still a pretty good position to be in. And you have, whatever percentage chance at being top 3. So I think there's going to be more teams than normal tanking here at the end of the season. And what the Wizards did today, man, their available players was disgusting. The Grizzlies tonight, available players, disgusting. Like, Kings, same way.
I just looked at the Wizards box score. Sharif Cooper?
Yeah, dude, they had like 8 players suit up, and it was like none of their rotation players.
my guy Jameer Watkins played 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Have you seen though Will Riley been going off the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Like that's You know how I compared him a bit to like Keyshawn George?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they found their next Keyshawn George maybe because he's been looking really good.
Yeah, and then man, there's been some players. I don't know if he played 48 minutes today, but going into today, Isaiah Collier played 48 minutes the last 2 games. Like he hadn't come out. The first time in a few years that a player played back-to-back.
He played 32 tonight. They kind of calmed
they
down with
that.
They calmed down with that. Yeah, they had multiple guys playing. I mean, they had Jaren Jackson Jr. tonight.
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson Jr. played 25 minutes tonight.
Did you hear what happened? They were up 7 with like 8 minutes left or something, and they just pulled everyone and played like their worst 5 guys the game and lost. Yeah,
shameless stuff.
It was bad. Yeah,
I mean,
and I mean we're still in February. Like we still have over 2 months left of the season. Man.
Yeah,
I
think the NBA here's the thing with injury reports. It's hard to say, like, if you sit somebody with general soreness or if you sit somebody with, like, knee soreness, the team can always say, oh, he feels something in his knee and we don't want to risk it. Like, you're going to make us play this guy that his knee isn't 100% right. We care about player safety. You know, like, that's how teams can play with injury reports. But when you play guys and then you bench clearly your best players to lose a game at the end of the game, like, the NBA should be able to find teams for that. But the result for that might be
remember?
Yeah, like you should find teams for that. Like clearly not trying their best to win the game based on their rotation patterns. When it's obvious and that blatant, like absolutely. But I think the result with that would be just like the Jazz wouldn't have played Jaren Jackson Jr. tonight. The Jazz wouldn't have played any of their good players. So I don't know if that's a fix.
Well, I don't get how like all your players can play like one game and then the next game like 7 of them are magically hurt, you know.
I mean, none of them kind of our team, you know.
I just like it like but our team has like legit injuries. Like some of them have like it's not I mean, I guess we have done that in the past last year. Included, but but man, it's crazy when teams do that. And I've been reading about it all day, like people's solutions on it and stuff. Like you mentioned, there's enforcing some sort of tanking rules or whatever. There's a lot of people who are saying it might just like why not just embrace it and just like let teams tank because teams realize that that's potentially helpful to the future of their organization and just make it like a fun thing or something. I don't know, but I don't know what the right answer there.
Yeah.
Because even when teams are like beginning of the season, teams were healthy, like good teams. I mean, it's still a problem that players are missing games and stuff, and those teams aren't tanking. So, I mean, it's more of a problem with the injury stuff, I think, than tanking necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I don't know. I think it's just always going to be a product of the NBA, and you can try and fix things one way and mess something else up. I don't really know if there's a way around it, to be honest. So, but
does anyone really care or blame the Wizards if they don't play like Keyshawn George? Like, who cares? Like, no one's gonna like lose sleep over that, you know.
What's worse is if you made it so like every non-playoff team had equal odds, because then you just end up with teams that are stuck at the bottom. Their only way out is drafting good players, and they can't get out of the bottom. Like, you have to have the worst teams in the league have the best odds to get in the top draft picks just to like rebalance the league, you know, to lift them up from the bottom. So I don't like some of the solutions that people have to like disincentivize tanking.
Yeah, I saw something where it was like at a certain point of the season, let's say All-Star break or something, then whatever teams didn't make the playoffs, like the best record would have higher odds instead of the worst record.
Here's the thing. Post All-Star break, we probably will have as good of a record if we're healthy with our cupcake schedule. We'll have probably as good of a record as any other playoff team. I would go into the 9-10 play-in like probably hoping we would lose, because if we don't make the playoffs, we would have a great chance of getting DeBonta, Boozer, Peterson. Unless you're like counting the record and then like basically you're adding losses before the All-Star break and then wins after the All-Star break. And the highest number is the top pick. But still, like it would result in a situation where teams wouldn't want to win a 9 versus 10 playing game. They'd play well enough after the All-Star break to get into the 9-10 playing game because they're trying to win games to get high draft odds. And then once they get into the playing game, it's like, okay, I don't want to make the playoffs. We won all these games post All-Star break. I want a top draft pick. So it would be an issue in that regard.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Like, lock the standings at the All-Star break, the lottery odds.
Yeah, but then teams are going to tank in January.
Yeah.
Teams are going to start tanking in December. You know, like you're basically just moving that up, and then they stop. They don't have to tank after that.
Play the rest of the season.
Yeah, but like you don't want teams tanking in December. So that's the thing is any fix to me feels like it messes something up. Like it has a repercussion to it that's just as bad.
Yeah.
So
well, what about instead of like making it about the record? What if you, I don't know, somehow found a way to penalize a tanking team, like you mentioned, like the outright tanking that Utah did tonight? Like that takes a 0.1% off of their odds. But it's like that's 13.9 instead of 14, and then you add that 0.1 to one of the teams that isn't blatantly tanking or something.
Because here's the issue. Like you can find teams for this sort of stuff, but when you start messing with lottery odds with something that isn't black and white, then basically you're going to run into like the league is being selective of who they want to win the lottery.
Yeah. Well, what if
it's too ambiguous?
So what if it's so you kind of combine those two. So like the post All-Star break record, whoever has the best record of the non-playoff team gets like an extra 5% or something like that, and then you adjust all the rest of the teams accordingly or something.
Yeah, I mean maybe there's a way you could do that, but I don't know. I mean if I'm Portland and I finish 10th and I'm sitting there with 10th best odds and you're adding 5% chance to my ping pong balls, like it's still kind of something where, you know, it's you don't want teams in the 9-10 play-in to have too good of lottery odds. Because then you just tank the playing game because you don't want to lose those good lottery odds. So it's really
just win the lottery anyway, like the Mavericks.
Yeah, it's just really hard to find a fix, and it is what it is. I kind of like seeing random players play too across the league. It's kind of intriguing to me, but also I'm a nerd, you know. So shout out to Muvsy with a $5 Canadian donation. He says, I think Tori is trying to say that Sharp has aura. Yeah, people care about aura. You know, people love some good aura. Sharp has some aura. Shout out to Muvsy, who also has some aura since he donates to the stream. If you want aura, you should also donate to the stream, or at least like the stream. At least like the stream. We'll give you a little bit of aura. Shout out to Oscar, member for 29 months, says, post All-Star break, be healthy. I want to see that team. Absolutely. Let's. All-Star break can't come soon enough. We finally get healthy, and now it's like Klingan's, you know, hands messed up, and, you know, we're still waiting on Denny, and Sharp's hurt again, but it's just soreness. Like, yeah.
Although Trevin pointed out that it was there was a time this year where it was listed as soreness at first and then turned into a strain.
Yeah. Yeah, what's the difference? I don't know. Caleb Love today, 17 points, 8 assists. This is like this game is frustration with Caleb Love early in the season, but then also like him being completely different than I thought, okay? Basically, the frustration is this dude shot 18 times in 27 minutes. 7 for 18 from the field, 3 for 11 from 3. He took some awful contested threes, dude. It was driving me nuts. But he also had 8 assists. I don't know if that's a career high, but 8 assists in 27 minutes, like, cool, man. Making plays for others. Yeah, I liked when he made plays for others. I hated when he shot dumb shots in this game. Drove me insane, especially some of those threes. So, mixed bag, I guess, but I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's he's a shot taker. He takes a lot of shots, and sometimes he takes really bad shots, and that's why he always struggled to be efficient in college.
See, this is the thing though. This is why he has his moments though, because he is the type of player who can go 1 for 7, be like on a 2-way contract, not even have a regular spot on the rotation, and still take that ridiculously stupid shot and hit it, right? Like that's I don't there aren't a ton of players who are capable of that. And now we can argue whether that's good or bad, and if we have a full complement of players and he's getting spot minutes or whatever, I don't think it's the best idea to come in and do that, especially if he's playing with starting level players or whatever. But I mean, him catching a little bit of fire and making some good passes in the fourth quarter is also, besides what Grant did, also helped win us this game. So I love the confidence, but I also think part of the corner he turned was he wasn't playing like he was a number one player on a team, and some of the shots he takes are still like he thinks he's the best player on the team or whatever. And I don't know, man. It works sometimes. It won't work other times. That's like what you said, why he's not consistently good. But man, the confidence to take some of the shots he took after the game he was having is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Krejci. Dude, I love Krejci. He's so much fun to me. I mean, part of the reason it's fun to watch him is because I already liked him. You know, I already wanted him on this team. But 4 assists today, 10 points, goes 2 for 5 from 3. He goes 2 for 5 from 3, and that's below his season 3-point percentage. Only 40% from 3, man. I love the play when they were down 104-97. Like, they needed some buckets to get it back in this game, especially with the defense struggling before that fourth quarter. And just running him off a I think it was a Klingan. Was it a Klingan screen? To the ball. And him just, like, catching the ball on the move, running off a screen and knocking down a 3. I mean, how many times have we seen a Blazer run off a screen towards the ball and catch the ball and shoot and knock down a 3? We don't really run that for anybody because nobody's really all that capable of making that sort of shot. But when you got Klingan as a screener setting great screens, you're able to run him off a screen. Like, he knocked that down. That was a huge bucket. That was kind of what started the Blazers' run in a way. But the 4 assists as well, like, I like it when he puts the ball on the floor. You know, he gets run off the 3-point line. I like that he can attack that a little bit and doesn't make mistakes, and, you know, just a smart passer as well. Really, really fun player to have on this team. I think, you know, he should have probably played a few more minutes in today's game. I don't really understand Sissoko playing more minutes than him. I think Krejci should be ahead of Sissoko in the rotation. Really, really enjoyed watching him play tonight.
Just, man, it's so nice not only to have a shooter, but someone who understands the game pretty well and moves a lot. Like you said, can catch and shoot on the run. I felt myself wanting us to set more screens for him or more kind of actions for him. Maybe that'll pick up because, like I said, Splitter said we were going to do it, so he better not have been just fluffing us with that. But anyways, man, it's crazy when you watch someone play and it's just like, wow, that was a really smart play. Wow, that was a heads up play. Wow, that was a good decision there. Like, on both ends. Like, I mean, we were told this guy was an absolute cone on defense, and he's not the greatest one-on-one ISO defender. He's not going to keep a lot of faster guys in front of him. But man, he's a really smart off-ball guy. Positionally, he's been really good. He understands where he's going to be. He has effort on that end. He's got, you know, a long body frame, so like he can be a little disruptive even if he's not the best defender. So I think he's fine on that end in the concept of a team defense. and man, just makes a lot of heady plays. And like you said, I was like, man, when's he going to come in the game? Like, let's put in beat. Like, come on, like no one can score. We're 4 minutes into the game. We have 6 points. Let's put in some shooting.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. He's that was such a great trade. He's perfect for this offense. So what does this offense needs with the motion offense, the way they run things? One is spacing. He provides that. 2, you want to be able to catch the ball on a kick out, and if the shot's not there, drive. Well, guys run him off the line so hard that he can easily beat them off the dribble and force a rotation, and then make the next pass, make the kick pass, right? Get that motion going that we've talked about, especially in the half court. They struggle to get the ball moving and get motion going, but you swing the ball to him, and guys are just running him off the line, and he has just a straight line drive a lot of times, from what I've seen in his first 3 games here. So that's number 2. But number 3, it's quick decision making. All right, he's not going to pound the ball. He's not going to take 10 dribbles to try and do something, right? And part of that quick decision making is like, ball gets swung, you're supposed to shoot, immediately attack the closeout, or immediately swing the ball. And we see a lot of guys catch it, not shoot, not attack the closeout, but then start just kind of dribbling in place, and it kills the motion. He had a couple assists where he's just catching the ball on the 3-point line and guys closing out, and he immediately just swings the ball, like with some crispness on his passes, just swings the ball to the corner. And one was near the end of the third quarter where what play was it? One was, final minute of the third quarter where he immediately swung it to Sissoko. And it resulted in, he was free throw line extended. So ball gets swung to Krejci. He swings it to Sissoko in the corner. And then Sissoko's in a position, because the ball got swung to him so fast, that he's attacking the closeout compared to the ball getting swung to him and him just having a defender that's on him, like in a stance, ready to guard him, right? So some of these little things that I've seen Krejci do within this offense fit really, really well. He's perfect for the drive and kick, quick decision-making offense, because he can pass the ball, because he's such a good shooter that teams will run him off the line, because he can space the floor and allow that motion offense to function a little bit better. And then, of course, when he does get threes, he knocks them down. 40% today after being 50% yesterday. So really, really love his fit in this offense. And, there's other shooters that would have filled the shooting need, but I don't think would have been as good of fits for the offense the Blazers are running as Krejci has been.
Yeah, absolutely. And that play you mentioned was one of those where I was like, why does that have to be Sissoko? I can't wait until we have a lineup where that's like all good players in the game. He did have like the same pass later in the game that he swung to Grant. That was when they were up 4. This was the shot with like 2 minutes remaining, and Grant knocked down the 3. Yep.
That was his 4th assist. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But man, just been so impressed with him so far, and this is without him really having any time to, because we've had back-to-back games now. His first game was off of, he got here late and didn't really have much time to acclimate himself. So, if he's doing this 3 games in, I can't wait to see him, the rest of the season and next year.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Love his fit on this team. It's I don't know. I'm just enjoying watching him play, and especially when Scoot was back, that was really fun to watch those 2 guys play with each other as well. So it's fun having. What's up?
Nothing.
It's fun to have players off the bench that I enjoy watching play basketball instead of Chris Murray. Instead of Ryan Repair was fun to watch last night, but he drives me crazy. Like it's becoming enjoyable to watch some of these players off the bench. Sometimes Caleb Love is enjoyable. Sometimes it makes me want to pull my hair out, but I have a lot of fun watching Krejci play for sure. Blake Wesley, 9 minutes, 10 points.
2 threes?
2 threes?
He shot those things with confidence, too.
I know, and they didn't look like they were going to be short coming out of his hand. Maybe he learned how to shoot when he was out with the broken foot, man, because if he can shoot, like, he's a player, He had a couple turnovers, but 2 for 3 from 3, is wild. 10 points in 9 minutes. He was good statistically. He was a minus 11 in those 9 minutes. So maybe that's why he only played 9 minutes.
I don't think that was necessarily his fault, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Whose fault was it? I don't know. Obviously stats don't tell the whole story. Just nice that he made 2 threes. Wish he wasn't 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Wish he knocked down more free throws, but he scored the ball. A couple turnovers. Like, take better care of the ball. Shouldn't have 2 turnovers in 9 minutes if you're Blake Wesley. And then nobody else scored. Ryan Repair, 11 minutes. He was back to being Tony Snell. He was Steph Curry last game in the fourth quarter, and now he's back to being Tony Snell. 0 points, 0 shot attempts, 3 assists. 3 assists, cool. 4 fouls. So he was Tony Snell and City Sissoko today.
He fouled a lot this game.
Yeah. Then you had Young Hansen play 3 minutes, pick up 3 fouls. One of them was the worst call I've ever seen in my life. The one where he's straight up and they gave the dude the and one was ridiculous, dude. What in the world?
Oh, I thought he lowered his arms.
Dude, no. Like, he's like, okay, his arms might have been at an 85-degree angle. What are we doing? I thought that was a ridiculous call. Like, I don't even think the offensive player hit his arms. I don't know. How are you supposed to play defense if you're getting called for that? And he got elbowed in the face on that play too. So, like, okay. He gets a really unfriendly whistle.
I mean, his offensive foul was an offensive foul tonight. I forget what his third foul was.
Let me look. Oh, I can't see fouls on NBA.com box score, probably because they don't want us to see how bad the refs are. Anyway.
They don't show those on there.
No. With our frustrations with how much they run drop, it just like, dude, why in the world do we draft a drop big after drafting a drop big? You know, it's ridiculous. Like I said, the Blazers need somebody
that worked so good last year.
Yeah, the Blazers need somebody that can mix up defensive coverages behind Klingan, not Young Hansen. I don't know, man. Every time I watch him play, it's like he is so far away. He physically doesn't move or look like he belongs out on the floor with NBA players.
Who got the and one on him? Was that Hendricks? I think it was Hendricks. I was trying to figure out if I could see their made field goal to see that foul again.
It wasn't Hendricks. Who was it, chat? Who was it? Somebody.
It was Hendricks.
No, he only had 2 made field goals, and one was a 3, and one was.
No, they were both.
Or was it not an and one?
No, I'm watching it. He had.
I'm watching it too. Oh, why am I on the one from yesterday? Hello? Okay.
Yeah, that's the problem. No, so I mean, I can see why that was a foul. I don't think it was an egregious call. He comes into him. He's straight up, but he does bring his body to him.
Are we trying to make basketball a non-contact sport?
I'm just saying I understand why that's called a foul. If he's straight up and doesn't move into him, that's one thing. But he's not going to get the respect.
Gotta be a frozen statue to play defense in the NBA. I hate the way this league is ref sometimes. Like, that should never be called a foul call. Like,
I think it's a foul.
No way.
Yeah, I got to completely disagree with people tonight. I thought those foul.
He wasn't moving into him when he started going up for the shot.
His body still slides into him. Like what?
Like when he's sitting down there pump faking, he like slides into him a little bit. But dude, like that happens that happens 10 times a possession where the defense moves a little bit towards the offensive play. Like, you see guys on the perimeter, they're holding the ball, and the defender will get in and, like, create a little body contact. That's not a foul. It's not a foul. That's what they call marginal contact. But
I'd be fine not calling it, but I don't.
But they call that marginal contact all the time. All the time. Like, they could call a foul every possession for, like, a defender moving slightly into an offensive player.
Yeah, but this is the problem. If you're constantly sliding forward like that and not holding your ground, if there's contact, you open yourself up to be a foul, in my opinion. That's why I hate when you overplay like that on the perimeter or down low. If you're strong with a good base and don't slide forward, then you can get away with contact if it's not sliding into it. But as soon as there's contact,
you're not allowed to close the space then. Like,
you can close the space, but what happens with Klingan is he goes too far and bumps into him. There's a difference between closing the space and closing the space without making contact.
They call that selectively. So selectively.
Okay.
They call that so selectively. Maybe. Like I see guys all the time on the perimeter slide it, like move into a guy a little bit and create some contact. And like slide into a guy a little bit. Well, that's the thing. If they called that a foul, there would be 80 fouls per team per game.
Well, just like if that's happening a lot to Young when he gets minutes, like adjust.
Well, I don't know. I don't know because he got moved a little bit. It's like, okay, you can't. For him, it's like if you can't really move back to the offensive player and create like any sort of contact. You're kind of just nerfing your ability to play any sort of defense. Like. He got bumped with an off arm harder than he moved into the offensive player. They didn't call the off arm, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of crazy to me. Like I think starting centers across the league won't get called for that. But the rookie, like I've talked about this, rookies get bad whistles for whatever reason, and I don't think that should be the case. But NBA refs ref off reputation a lot. And when Young makes that sort of play where Miles Turner does that, he doesn't get called for a foul. If Joel Embiid does that, he doesn't. If Walker Kessler does that, he doesn't get called for a foul. But Young Hansen barely nudges the guy. Lighter than I would pat you on the back. Foul.
But they don't play defense by standing straight up and then moving forward into the guy while he's going up for a shot. They contest.
He moved forward into him before he went up for the shot.
Okay, that's still creating contact. In the post, it's the only contact you can make is an arm bar.
No, you can lean into a guy a little bit with your body, with your shoulder. Like you can't like push them over, but that's different than kind of like leaning into a little bit, stepping.
It's just like the Denny step through, the rip through move. If he recognizes that he's sliding into him and then goes up for a shot, that's the same type of foul drawing.
There's just obviously you can't run into the offensive player, but there's just like a certain level where it's marginal that it doesn't get called most of the time, where it gets called in that sort of play. And I thought that was so marginal that doesn't get called at like 80 to 90% of the time. I think that was called because it was Young. That's how I feel about it. Chat, let me know how you feel about that particular play. I just think he gets a pretty ugly whistle. And Klingan got this whistle last year too. This year, I think Klingan gets a more fair whistle, and he.
Well, Klingan did this and got called for a foul early in this game because he did the similar thing where
on a shot.
His hands were straight up, but his body went into, I forgot who it was, but his body went into the guy. It was in the first quarter, and it was just to the right of the basket. Someone was going up for a lane on the right side.
Was it an and one?
I don't remember it if he made it or not. So it might have just been a shot attempt. Yeah. See,
like Klingan's, Matt Cardle says Klingan landed on someone. I don't know if they were talking about the same play, but there's times where Klingan steps too aggressively into an offensive player. Like there's just a certain level where the contact is so freaking minimal that I hate that it gets called. Like basically might as well be a non-contact sport on certain plays just because as a defensive player you're not able to bump the player out. You're not able to create any sort of contact, and it drives me insane. Like Lou Dort can punch somebody in the face, he doesn't get called for anything. So I'm just tired of the inconsistencies and the way the refs ref off reputation with certain teams being allowed to get away with stuff, certain stars getting certain calls, certain rookies getting a worse whistle. Like it's always been a pet peeve of mine across the league.
But Young's been called for that foul and then been dumbfounded every single time this year.
Well, there's different. It's not all the fouls are not the same exact play.
No, I know, but like a lot of times he gets called for this type of foul when he thinks he's straight up. And
yeah, there's plenty of times where he's not straight up. Yeah, like that's not the argument.
At some point, he needs to adjust and not make that slide into him, in my opinion, if the refs are going to call it.
Might as well be one of those training guys, the training. It's like the mesh guys with their hands up that coaches will like put in front and just practice shooting floaters over him. I mean, yeah, I don't know, because basically he's in this position where he's trying not to be too jumpy, but if you're not jumping his stuff, you got to close the gap to be able to defend the shot. But you start stepping towards an offensive player and they can throw themselves into you and it's a foul. Like, it's just especially as a young big that doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, it's tough to play defense in the NBA. Unless you're like just a great athlete that can. And that's the thing, he's not a great athlete. So even though he's big, he's not really able to use his size. He doesn't jump high. He bites on pump fakes. You know what I mean? Like the lack of athleticism just kind of crushes him defensively. And without him being able to create a little bit of contact in that sort of situation that other guys can get away with, like he's just screwed defensively. So, yeah. The claw marks on his arm cracked me up. Yeah, how long opening day, over under opening day next year, will we stop seeing those claw marks?
They're gotta be gone by next year, right?
You would think, but he got those how long ago? It's been like a month, man. Might as well just call those a tattoo at this point. Shout out to Steven Adams. Yeah, did he get called? Did he get a foul call on his benefit when he got clawed by a bear? I think the play he got those, he was called for the foul. I don't know. Anyway, those are the players from today's game. That's the game breakdown. We got to do a mock draft. Let's just get into this thing. So even though it's a win, we're going to do a tankathon to determine the mock draft order. All right, we're going to go on Fanspo. I think we just do the first 30 picks.
30, please.
Yeah. I think we just do the first 30 picks. So let's do a tankathon. Let's simulate the lottery. Let's get the order. 14 is San Antonio v. Atlanta. 13 is Charlotte. 12 is your Portland Trailblazers. 11 is the OKC Thunder. 10 is the Chicago Bulls. 9 is the Milwaukee Bucks. 8 is the Memphis Grizzlies. 7 is the Dallas Mavericks. 6 is the Utah Jazz. And 5 is the Los Angeles Clippers. So, not going to have to change the draft order much. 4 is Brooklyn. 3 is Atlanta via New Orleans. 2 is Sacramento. And 1 is Washington. Ooh, who's going to play with AD and Trae Young? That's an interesting one, you know. So let's...
You can be odds.
Okay, I'll make that decision. I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. Do I need to log in to create a custom draft order? I haven't done this in so long. Must log in to use. Okay, let me log in to... All right. So,
I wonder. I haven't created my big board on here yet. I wonder how many people they're missing.
Yeah. I mean, we can always... No, I don't want to simulate. I just want to set the draft order, new custom order. Okay. First round. We can do no ceilings. I'm cool with that. Which teams? All teams.
Who was first center?
Washington. Washington, Sacramento, Atlanta. And then Brooklyn, and then the Clippers. Portland's at 12. OKC's at 11. OKC's 11.
Man, that's the best possible scenario for the Clippers.
Yeah.
Because that's the highest pick they can get, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's also like a likely scenario, though. You know, that's one of the top scenarios for that pick in general.
And then how does it go after?
All right. We'll just set the lottery order correct. Who cares about the picks lower than that? It's just the rest should be on Tankathon. So, Hornets. Utah, Dallas, Memphis. Okay, they have Utah, Dallas, Memphis. That they have 9 is Milwaukee, 10 is Chicago. They have that. Then OKC, Portland, Charlotte, San Antonio. Okay, I think.
So OKC 11.
Yeah. Portland 12.
OKC 11,
Charlotte
Portland
13.
12.
Look at Charlotte, man.
Because Fanspo doesn't update the records fast enough for some reason.
Yeah. But I think the rest seems pretty solid. Mock draft 1.0.
Who was 13, sorry?
Charlotte. Yep.
And then Spurs are 14?
Yeah. Rest should be the same. We're good. Okay, so one Washington. I'm not all the way sold on Darren Peterson as the number one pick, to be honest. I don't know how much having Anthony Davis should factor in to this. You could even talk me into Cam Boozer maybe for a couple teams if they had the number one overall pick. But you got Trae Young, you got Trae Johnson in the backcourt. I mean, Trae Johnson could be like a multi-year Sixth Man of the Year winner if you go Peterson. You got Keyshawn George at the 380 at the 4. I think I'll just go Peterson, you know, long term. Maybe he takes over a point for Trae Young and plays with Trae Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
There are some teams that I might not have taken Peterson, though. 2 is Sacramento. So how are you going to mess this up since you're Sacramento, Eric? Whatever you pick here is going to automatically be the wrong pick.
Yeah, I don't care. Boozer is definitely the safest pick here, but I like the star potential of AJ DeBenza. I've always liked it, and I am taking him and hoping he's my cornerstone for the next decade plus.
He's a bust. He's Josh Jackson. No, I'm kidding. Third is Atlanta. So, you know, you got a Kongwu. Jalen Johnson can slide down to the 3. They got a lot of wings and stuff right now, but I think just best player available makes sense, especially since it's not a wing. I'll just go Cam.
That's crazy. Getting Cameron Boozer for trading the 13th pick in the draft.
I know. For Derek Queen. You got Asa Newell and Cameron Boozer for Derek Queen. All right. 4, here's where the draft kind of starts.
All right. So based on their draft last year, this might not make sense because I mean, they just picked a bunch of guys, but Demon's been awesome lately. He could play off ball, like he's a good enough shooter. He doesn't have to be the point guard. So I believe this guy is going to be a star point guard in the NBA for a long time, I'm taking Kingston Flemings, and I am absolutely ecstatic about the future of him and Demon in the backcourt. If I'm Brooklyn
Yeah, he's the number.
or Yamon, sorry, I forgot how to say it.
Joman. Fleming's is number 4 on my board right now. Clippers at 5. I'm not sold on Caleb Wilson like other people are. He's a very good prospect, but like a lot of people have him consensus 4th in the class. There's a lot of other awesome players, but I think for the Clippers, you have Mathurin, you have Kawhi, you have Garland. Who knows what they do with Kawhi, but Caleb Wilson adding that on top of Garland and Mathurin feels like something, a pretty good young core for a team that had, in my opinion, no hope of having a pretty good young core a year ago. No draft capital, older players. So I'll go Caleb Wilson at 5. Now here's where things get really interesting because you have so many prospects that I think could go here at 6 to Utah.
Yeah. So, we know Utah made the trade for Jaren Jackson Jr. Their front court is pretty loaded after drafting Ace Bailey last year too. Still got Markkanen. We'll have Walker Kessler back next year as well. And then the emergence of Keontae George as I'm just gonna go for it, man. There's a shooting guard that this might be too high for him, but screw it. I'm taking Keaton Wagler here.
That's honestly who I was gonna pick for Dallas. So I don't think it's too high at all. Yeah, they kind of got their 5-man core.
I think that's a really good fit. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked I like the idea of Wagler with Flag. All right, so 7. Now I got to think about what I do here. I'm kind of just at the point where I've watched a lot of these guys play, but I don't really have a super strong opinion, so it's more so just drafting for fit. We got the Mavs here. And I kind of want to swing on some sort of upside. Somebody that could maybe become a co-star next to Flag. I think I'm just I'm gonna go with LeBaron Philon. Still like his offensive upside. I've seen him kind of slip down some boards, but I still really like him. Defense may be a little questionable, but you have Cooper Flag as a 2-way star there. I like Philon's upside there.
Nice.
8 is Memphis.
Man, you got to assume that they couldn't get anything for Ja at the deadline. But this roster just has not much to like. I mean, you have your Cedric Cowards and your Jalen Wells and stuff, like those type of players, but they don't have like a guy yet. So I think you can pretty much make the case for any position here. Let's see. Man. I like. Man, I kind of want to take someone, but I'm just gonna go.
Do it. Screw it. No. Do it.
I'm gonna go with Darius Acup Jr. here.
Who are you thinking about taking?
I'm not gonna say.
Why?
I'll tell you later. Because I don't want to unpack.
Forget. I mean, I'm not gonna snipe you. I'm gonna take what I think. But all right, 9 is Milwaukee. You need somebody with upside, but also somebody that's maybe ready to produce on this Bucks team to keep Giannis happy. And if you look across the lineup, there's a bunch of guys that aren't really pure shooters. Here. I like Braylon Mullins here as a shooter that also moves well. And I could see him being like the Devin Booker of this class. Like, I think he has creation upside off the dribble. I think he's a solid athlete and somebody that can step in, play a shooting role, but also bring some like on ball juice maybe right away. I do like Mullins a lot for Milwaukee.
Nice.
All right, 10 to Chicago. Oh, now I know why you said you want me to be odds. You want to make the pick for the Blazers. No, I'm kidding.
I actually didn't think of that. I was just thinking of
I just thought of it right now. I just thought
4 and 6, yeah.
You just wanted to be the team with Anthony Simons on
it. Yeah, well, if we're in the offseason, technically, Anthony Simons is a free agent.
True. But what point guard are you going to draft since they love point guards?
I mean, yeah, there's lots of guys that could take here. They obviously need some bigs. I think there's a couple of good options here. I am going to take Steinbeck for them.
Steinbach. I'm still not the biggest Steinbach fan, to be honest. Doesn't he feels a little tweener to me. What's your thoughts on him?
Just super productive, and he's freshman, so freshman big, takes some time, but he's come in and made an impact right away. And I don't know, I think he's like more of a center than a lot of the other guys, and that like Quayton's a little small. I guess Senak's a little bigger, but yeah, I don't know. There's not really like a true 7-foot center, and they're all kind of undersized.
Yeah, it's a bad center class.
Yeah. I think I figured out someone this draft is missing.
Oh, you can take him. We can note it.
Well, I want to tell you too, because just in case.
Oh, who?
I don't see Fiore on here.
Who?
Oh, he's 36. Badunga.
Oh yeah, Flory. Got you. Yeah, I was gonna say he was on it last year. I wouldn't have been surprised. All right, 11th is OKC. I mean, OKC doesn't need a win now player. You can just swing on upside, and that upside is Nate Ament, who's started to play a lot better. It'd be kind of crazy to. I mean, it's not crazy because they have a crazy amount of picks, but like you get Jared McCain at the deadline, and then you add Nate Ament. Just continue to add a lot of upside. They still have Toppage, right? Just really good, fun, young core. So I like Ament there for OKC is just a swing.
All right.
Now what do you do with Portland?
Man, there's so many ways I could go here. Chat, I want to see where chat wants
Chat,
to
who
go.
should he take as Portland?
So your guy Thomas Hott would be really interesting here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can take him here with the guys on the board though. Man, Mikal Brown's still on the board, just swinging for upside. That wouldn't be a bad pick in my opinion. There's a couple of bigs in Quayton's and Senak Jr. who I think could maybe fit into that mold of a center. We need to play a different pace, but drafting 3 centers in a row seems weird as well. I like Bennett Sturts and Christian Anderson as well, but they're both point guards, and I'm not really super high on drafting a point guard. So that leaves me back to my guy Yoxel, I think, is where I'm leaning right now. But I'm not getting any Yoxels in chat. There's the one, Yoxel. Don't draft a big.
I would consider. I would This might sound a little crazy, but I would start to consider Cameron Carr here.
Yeah.
His measurements, I think, are going to be important, though.
I'm really interested in taking a mobile big, but I understand the
Gongba?
trepidation. Yeah, like I said, him or Clayton's or Sinak, but man,
Quayton's in his injury stuff, man.
yeah,
I kind of feel like he doesn't enter this draft. I mean, maybe he does, but his stock like could be in the gutter. He might be able to make more by going back to school. Which you can say about a lot of guys, so I guess we can keep him in this draft, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'd draft him.
I'm just gonna take the Oxel. That's my guy.
Yeah, I think for me the options are Yoxel, Hauk, Mikel Brown is up there. Like that might be who I would have taken. And then, like, fringe guys I'd consider. Maybe like a Cameron Carr. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody that I like for him. But, all right, 13th. Charlotte on the upswing. Still could round out their bench. I mean, they have guards. They have creation. They kind of need... I mean, this is a good spot for Quaintance. They need like an energy defensive guy that also kind of fits in offensively. I actually like Hauk a lot here for that role that he'd play for them. I think he can play some three. He's skilled enough. Salon started to look better, so Salon's maybe your 4 off the bench. Who knows what you do with Miles Bridges? You could add another forward to that group. So that's who I'm going to take.
Is that how?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moussa Diabate is their guy. I mean, he's a good bench center that can start and have productive games. I don't think you make a decision in the lottery on your long-term starting 5 based off Diabate. He's not that level of good. All right, 14, you got San Antonio.
Man, this is crazy because there's so many. Like, I think the easy choice would just be to take Mikel Brown here, but man, it's just how many guards they have already. Like, it's tough, man.
How many guards they have that can't shoot threes?
Yeah. Man. You know what?
I know who I'd take in a heartbeat for them.
This probably isn't the guy you would take, but I'm just going to go for it and hope his injuries aren't a thing. And I'm going to take Jaden Quaintance.
Yeah, that's a little too high for me. That's like my favorite landing spot for. Well, actually, no, never mind. If they reshuffled and had more shooting, I love Pete next to Wemby. Like, Pete needs to play next to a stretch 5. That'd be kind of a fun combo. All right, 15, Miami. Mikel Brown Jr. feels perfect. Like, they can't get upside through trade. They can't get a trade done. They need some more upside on the roster. They could use a point guard of the future. They play a very fast tempo. He fits in really, really well, and then hopefully he can develop a jumper and become a more efficient player than he has been.
Who'd you take?
Mikael Brandon Jr. Trevor says, Torrey, 3 streams ago, you were pretty down on Drew. Said you wouldn't mind if he got traded. Yeah, because he got Scoot and Sharp. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if he got traded because he got Scoot and Sharp in Dame. And his injury issue. But in terms of like his play, especially the past couple of nights, he's been good. I don't really understand some of the heat he's gotten the past couple of nights. All right, 16, you got Memphis.
All right, they got Acuff Jr. earlier. I'm going to... Man. There's a guy I really like, but I don't want to take him on Memphis. I'm going to take my other guy here, Bennett Sturts.
He does feel like such a Grizzlies pick.
Oh my God, it'd be so perfect for the Warriors. But you're up.
Who the hell is your guy? I don't even see anybody here who's your guy.
Yeah.
I don't know who your guy is.
I've never mentioned him before.
Tyrone Riley.
No, it's someone who I wasn't super high on, but I watched a couple games of his the last couple days.
JT Toppin, is that who you're high on now? I don't know. I have no idea. You're gonna have to tell me who this is.
JT Toppin is no.
So who do we need to keep track of? Whoever this player is for the Warriors, and then whoever the player was. Who was it earlier in the draft?
Bennett Sturts.
For who?
I forget which team that was.
Was it Portland?
No, I think it was before Portland.
No, it was. Was it Memphis's first pick?
Maybe.
I think it was. Yeah, you got him taking 2 point guards. You got Acuff and Sturts.
Yeah.
All right, Golden State. I don't know, man. I feel like they need somebody that's not boring. I don't know who that is, though.
That's funny.
You know what? Just funny because I might be about to make a boring pick here, but there's still. I don't know if I like his fit. Man. Yeah, I don't like his fit, although he's super productive. This is tough. Because like Cameron Carr I like for some teams, but I'm just worried he becomes Moses Moody there, you know? Like doesn't get the on-ball reps. I'm going to take Braden Burries here.
That is the guy.
That is the guy? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like Braden Burries, man. I like Braden Burries. He's fun.
Yeah, I just happened to watch the game against BYU. I had that on my DVR, and he was awesome in the first half of that game. And I was like, dude, where's this guy been?
Well, the first game I watched of Arizona this year, he had like 26 or something. It was just hitting just tough shot after tough shot and looked smooth as hell. And then he's projected latter half of the first round. I don't know. I need to watch more of him because I feel like I watched him when he was playing his best. Like when I've watched Arizona, he's played really well. And I look at some of the box scores. He has some games where he struggles. Like I need to see him when he's struggling to like form a full opinion of him. But I really like him a lot.
Yeah.
So
nice.
All right, 18 OKC. They took Nate Ament at 11.
All right, yeah, you got Ament for him earlier. I think think they can just keep swinging on upside. So I'm gonna take Koa Pete for them.
Yeah, can play next to Chet. Fun player. Okay, do I want to do something crazy here? Because I'm thinking about doing something that's maybe a little out there. Although looking at that box score, maybe not. I don't know. Should I do something crazy, chat? They need a point guard. And there's
Your guy Tyler Tanner still available.
That's not the point guard I'm thinking of.
I know. I just know how much you love Tyler Tanner, or not necessarily him, but it's just the fact that
I'm gonna draft a guy I'm thinking of at some point in this mock, but maybe I won't for Toronto because I do like Christian Anderson.
Yeah.
And they need like a point guard of the future. I'm not sold on quickly, so I'm gonna take Christian Anderson. 20th is Charlotte. They took Thomas Houck. You can complete my duo by drafting a certain player. Marv says, "What's wrong with Pete? He's 6'8" and can't shoot threes. He might be 6'7". Like he's a good athlete and he's productive, but there's translation questions with his game going up to the NBA level."
All right, so I'm gonna ditch Miles in the off season. And I am going to get a Miles Bridges-esque replacement.
Hopefully he doesn't throw pool balls.
This guy I don't think has any domestic violence issues. This might be a little bit of a reach for him here, but I'm going to go Joshua Jefferson here.
Although, I don't really view him anything similar to Miles Bridges, but...
I was joking on that part.
Got you. I like his game, though. Productive. Like, as long as the shot that he's shown this year is real. Because he wasn't really a shooter before this year. Like, he's passed. Smart player. Marv says 35%. Yeah, he's made 6 all year. He shoots less than 1 3 per game. He doesn't shoot threes. 60% from the free throw line, which is not a good indicator. Well, it's a good indicator of a guy that's probably going to struggle shooting the ball. Like, Tankathon, I don't know what Tankathon has projected 3-point percentage at, but okay. The Hawks took Boozer. Who's their starting point guard now? I mean, I guess Jalen Johnson's a point guard.
Well, CJ.
Yeah. God, this dude should have been drafted a while ago. They don't really have a big.
They got Boozer Kongwu.
I'm gonna take a Daymar here for them. 7'3", and his passing with Boozer could be a fun fit.
All right.
22, you got the Detroit
Detroit
first place
basketball.
Detroit Pistons.
Man. Just scrolling down a bit, making sure I'm not missing anyone. I mean, Duncan Robinson's been fine for them this year. They got a lot of players, including Herder, who they just traded for, Tobias Harris, who are free agents this offseason. So I'm just going to add another shooter and take Isaiah Evans for them.
Okay, 23, Philadelphia. They've been needing a power forward for a while, and this guy I still think should be in talks right around the lottery. I'm going to take Kareem Lopez. '24 is the Lakers.
The Lakers.
There's some insane levels of talent still left on the board, dude. This is crazy. Veet shot 24% in year 2. Yeah, he was 5 for 21 from 3. Like, it's super small sample. Come on, Marv. You got to look at the volume and the sample size.
I'm going to take... I'm going to take Patrick Mbaga for them.
$25 Denver. Probably you're gonna have to pay Peyton Watson. You're gonna need a forward off the bench who's cheap and productive. I'm gonna take Dalen Swain.
Have you soured on your guy?
No, I just haven't found a fit for him. Like, a lot of this is drafting off a fit. Like, I like Carr. I like Avdalis. I still like Yosefu. I still like Senek.
Yeah.
It just fits, you know. There's so much talent. It's mainly based off of that right now.
Well, we're on the Knicks, so I'm just going to take Senek here.
Yeah, I like that. 27 Boston. Just traded Simons. You got some wing depth there. Best move would be to go big, but I don't really like the bigs that are left. Except for Magoongoth. Alright, you know, I said I'm going to take my guy. Doesn't really feel like a Celtics type of player, but he, I think, has upside. I'm going to take a Buka Okori. That's what I was thinking about taking for Toronto. If Christian Anderson wasn't on the board.
Where is he at?
72.
72, okay.
Oh, I could have taken him for the Timberwolves.
All right, Cavs are up next. I think I'm just going to take the value here of Yusufa.
Yeah, and they just traded Hunter, so could use it. I mean, Yusufa's more of a wing, Hunter's more of a forward, but all right, Timberwolves at 29. You can go multiple different ways.
Is your last chance to take your guy?
Yeah, but I like Cameron Carr here. I mean, you got DeSumo, so if you sign him, you got DiVincenzo, you got Anthony Edwards. Yeah, you know what? Avdalis here. Because I think he'll be able to hopefully shoot well enough. And then the playmaking's intriguing still. And you got like some guys that can handle the ball, but a lot of guys that can play off of it. So in the next couple of years, if he's able to carve out a role as somebody that can handle the ball a little bit for them, I think that would be interesting. All right, 30 is Dallas. He took Phylon.
Yeah. I have the ability to do the funniest thing.
Take who?
I don't know. Pettiford and Phylon seem like such a weird combo. Like they were the same player last year.
I don't even. I think Pettiford this year has been brutal.
Yeah,
He's not draftable in this year's draft.
I'm not taking him. I'm just.
Yeah, it would be funny.
So yeah, I think that leaves Cameron Carr for me.
Yeah.
Carr and Phylon, is there?
Oh, I just drafted him. I thought you were taking him.
I did.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Here's our mock draft. Yeah, I mean the talent in this draft is crazy. This is our first mock draft. I think our last mock draft's going to look far different than this, but yeah, just kind of draft them based off fit. It's a really fun draft class. I mean, the fact that you got like Yosefu late first, Cameron Carr, I like a lot. Avdalis, Senek.
Mikel fell in this one.
Yeah, Mikel fell outside of the lottery. Yeah, very, very interesting mock draft, but I like a lot of the picks that were made. Cool. All right. That's because we lost 6 in a row. I said if we lost 6 in a row, you get a mock draft. Here you go. Here's a mock draft. At some point, we'll have a big board. The big board is going to be really interesting, I think, because I think some of these player ranges in the middle of the first round can go from like 10 to 30 just because there's so much talent. So it's kind of a crapshoot in a way. So anyway, Blazers play again on Tuesday. They'll take on the Philadelphia 76ers.
Monday.
Oh, Monday. 2 days from now. Why am I feeling like it's Sunday? Anyway, anything else?
Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for everyone who stuck around for the mock draft and stuff. If you're watching later, make sure and you're into the draft and stuff, let us know in the comments who you would have taken if you were the Blazers, or if we made any gross errors in your opinion in our mock draft. Let's have some fun with that. Happy birthday to Carson on Monday. He said it's his birthday on Monday. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Glad the Blazers have won 2 in a row. Hopefully they can make it 3.
Yeah. Keep winning games. Keep stacking wins. You're taking on the Sixers. They just beat the Suns. Embiid's been playing really good basketball. You got Tyrese Maxey. That's going to be a tough matchup, hopefully. I mean, Denny keeps being questionable and then listed out. I don't know why they keep listing him as questionable, because it feels like he's just not ready. But we'll see if he plays. Scoot should be back for that one. We'll see. Who knows what the roster is going to be like game to game. But, yeah, happy birthday, Carson. We'll catch you guys on that post-game stream. Hopefully they can win their 3rd in a row. That would be a good win to pick up, especially with 2 more games after that against the Timberwolves and then the Jazz to end off to end things off before the All-Star break, and the Jazz are purposefully trying to lose games. So you beat Philly, you should be able to beat Utah. That would make them at least 4-1 their final games before the All-Star break, which was my goal. So just find a way to beat Philly. You should be able to beat Utah. Anyway, we're out of here. Have a good rest of your guys' night and weekend. We'll catch you again on Monday to see if the Blazers can take care of business against the Sixers. The All-Star break's almost here. The Blazers finally winning a couple games. These games against the Grizzlies couldn't have come at a more perfect time with them playing patchwork G League-esque rosters. Shout out to Jeremy Grant for having a great game tonight. Shout out to Drew Holiday for having a good game. Shout out to Donovan Klingan for his 2019. And shout out to Vic Krejci for being the shooter that we need. We're out of here. Have a good rest of your guys' night. Until next time. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.